Hey, get that back!
Hello everyone and welcome to Action RPG Build Guide Edition. Today I'm ready to drop on you my new and refreshed Only Minions Necromancer. This is one of the most requested builds I get. People like it because you could literally be lazy. All we use is minions. It is awesome for accessibility and it can push over 300 corruption. When people ask, hey, I'm just learning the game, what is something that is very simple? Only minions. Easiest build in the game. As always, I will cover every single facet of the build. Everything is timestamped in the description below if you need to bounce around. Let's not waste any time and jump right into this. Starting off with some gameplay. Now, something you're going to notice right off the bat for this build, it is very, very easy. If you are new to last Epoch, if you have friends that are new, if you are looking something for a starter build, Only Minions might be right up your alley. As you can see on my bar, I use zombies, golem, mages, wraiths, and skeletons. Only minions. And we use the traversal through grave passage on skeletal mage to maintain a movement skill. Literally all you do is make zombies. Very, very simple. This is one of my most popular builds I've ever made. It gets requested over and over again. This new refreshed version feels even better, and it can push over 300 corruption with very minimal gearing. It's just a blast to play. I also get asked a lot for accessibility builds, something that only requires one button. This is definitely it. So as you can see, I'm spec'd into all fire. Fire has a really, really good synergy, and it's easy to work with and push damage through the Dragon Flame Edict staff. Also, in order to sustain, I've tried life. We tried to see if we can get some leech. Just the best way is unequivocally low life. Helps keep you alive. You can get anywhere from 7 to 10,000 ward. And again, it's minimal effort. You only need 3 items. So this build I do recommend for pushing corruption low life, but it is not required. And as you can see right here, pretty simple. And we are done. Bam. Let me show you single target with the Shade of Oribus. All right. Shade of Oribus versus Only Minions. And as you can see, all you got to do is just dodge, because you make zombies and move. Again, could not be simpler. And single target for this build is pretty good. Normally, I can build anywhere from 1 to 200 ignite stacks pretty quick. Armor shred 1 to 200, and the enemy will just melt away. And Shade of Oribus, because we have our kill threshold through our zombies. You, sir, are dead. Easy. Let me show you how to recreate this build. So now let's check out the skills, starting with Summon Wraith. And these are going to be Flame Wraiths, which you're going to get from a node on the tree and from 2 idols. So these are going to shoot fireballs. And what you want to do is you want to come right first. When I break down these skill trees, I try to show you the points you want to take first. So the first thing you want to do is go up and down and grab this node, Twin Spirits. This is going to make it where you can only make 2 wraiths now, but they are permanent and they are going to be so much stronger. That way you don't have to worry about spamming wraiths over and over again. If they die, you have to remake them, but they're going to be permanent minions. You then want to come down and get SOA, which is going to further buff their damage. You then want to go up and around. This is all going to be converted to fire. You want to get the fire node, which is going to give you multiplicative damage, and your final point right here is going to give you critical strike chance. Now, right now in this skill tree, I only have 20 points. If you have any other points for Summon Wraith, you just want to continue down this path here and get crit chance and crit multiplier. Okay, moving over to Summon Bone Golem. The first thing you want to do is come straight down and get AOS, get Tower of Bones, and get Fragments of the Fallen. You are only going to have 1 golem in this build, but it is going to be your meat shield, it's going to be your tank, it is going to be your bodyguard, and it is literally the largest golem you can get in the game. It's going to generate a lot of threat. You then want to come to the right and get AOR and bones, and then you want to make it a fire golem. Now here right now I have 22 points, so the final point I took right here into Burning Bones. Now for this build, in order to stay alive, I'm spec'd into Low Life. That is why we are currently not taking Hunger, because you actually don't want that leech, and you only have 1 Golem instead of using Aaron's Will and having 3, so Hunger is not a good node for this build. Moving over to Summon Skeletal Mage. For this, what you want to do first is go left. You want to get your Ignite chance. Well, this will turn into Ignite chance, and you want to come around here and grab this node, Grave Passage. In my opinion, the best movement skill in the game, because you could basically use it anywhere. You can go up and down elevation, and at times you can go through barriers. It is absolutely amazing. Anybody that has used Skeleton Mage as your movement skill, you know what I'm talking about. You then want to get Death's Cavalry so that 9 minions will come with you, basically makes them your bodyguards. You then want to come down and turn them into Pyro. You want to turn them into Ignite mages. You then want to remove regular mages. You want to buff your Ignite, and then you want to come straight down and get your extra Skeleton Mage. I love Skeleton Mages. They are so strong. They help put just by themselves over 100 stacks of Ignite on the enemy. Moving on to your 4th minion, and this is Summon Skeleton. Summon Skeleton. The first thing you want to do is come to the left, and you want to grab all these nodes, but most importantly, you want to get this. You want to remove warriors. You need skeletons in the back because they are more frail, and you need them just shooting and picking off enemies. You then want to come down and give them Fire Arrow, because all your minions are fire. And then you want to give them multi-shot. This is going to give them a boost to their multiplicative damage, and they're going to shoot 6 fire arrows, which is great for AoE. And don't forget this point right here for Morrow Walkers, where you get an extra skeleton. You then want to come down and to the left and make it where you get Dread, so that instead of having a bunch of little skeletons, you cut that number in half and you get strong, bigger skeletons. You will have 5 of them. Okay. Last but not least, you want to come over to the right and get 1 more Engraved Walkers for +2 skeleton. Last but not least, this is your only spam skill that you will be doing, and this is Summon Volatile Zombie. So basically, your Wraiths are permanent, your Golem is permanent, your Mages are permanent, your Skeletons are permanent. So literally all you're doing is running around and clicking 1 button, which makes zombies. First thing you want to do is go up into the right and get this node right here, Pull of the Grave, which is going to give you a 16% kill threshold, which is awesome. It is the biggest kill threshold pretty much you can get for Necro. It's awesome. Everything dies once it gets to 84% of its life gone. You then want to come down and over and turn these into fire zombies. I know they already look fire, but they're actually physical and poison, so this is actually going to fully convert them to fire. You then want to come over and you want to get Armor Shred chance. Now your zombies themselves, they'll put about 50 stacks of Armor Shred on the enemy, just the zombies alone. So this node is awesome. And then the final 3 points right here, Grave Attunement. They are going to run a little slower, but they run fast enough. This is going to make them decay slower and give you more multiplicative damage. Those are the skills. Moving over to the passive, starting in the Acolyte tree. Now, right now, my Necromancer is obviously level 100, and we have 21 points into the base tree. 8 into Forbidden Knowledge, 7 into Stolen Vitality, 5 into Dark Rituals, because you want this one node right here, Soul Aegis. Your minions have additional armor per character level. We're level 100, so 300 armor to all your minions. You're then going to jump over to Necromancer, where we currently have 74 points. You want 8 into Risen Army, 3 into Cursed Blood, 7 into Aegis Fall. This is where you're going to get a ton of Armor Shred, 200 stacks of Armor Shred on most of the enemies that you are going to be fighting. And then this build does use skeletons. So we want 1 into Bone Armor, 5 into Mortal Tether, and 1 into Unbound Necromancy. So we get that +1 to skeletons, and then you just continue right here, 3 into Tyrant and 1 into Tyrant's Legion. So you get +1 to max skeleton. The rest of this is very simple. You literally go 5 into Effigies, and you just go right around the horn, getting 1 more to Skeletal Mage and 10 points into Moonlight. I have done so many tests on this. I've changed it so many times. It is currently in its best way. I like it the way it is. We then go over to Warlock. 8 points into Chaos Flames. This is going to make it where you're going to get an additional 48% chance for Ignite for your minions and some fire damage. And then on Lich, your final 10 points, you're going to get Intelligence and some mana regen. Those are the passives. Moving over to Last Epoch tools, where we're going to cover the blessings, idols, gear, and character sheet, starting with blessings. Now, for the most part, we are spec'd into survivability. We have void resistance, mana, crit avoidance, and physical. Now, for the Spirits of Fire timeline, we normally have endurance here, but for a low life build, endurance does not affect you in any way. So don't worry about endurance percent or endurance threshold. We took just flat minion damage. Now, when you go to the idols, for the most part, all you're looking for is double life. Double life, double life, double life, and double life. Now, the other two idols are 2x2. These are the adorned idols, and this is what gives you the ability to always summon flame wraiths. Now, on here, you can also get life to roll, but on one of these idols, it can roll on either your large or your adorned. You need chance to apply marked for death on hit. It literally doesn't even matter the percent. You're hitting enemies so quick and so often that even at 4%, all enemies will always be marked for death. Very important. Make sure that is on one of your idols. Now moving over to the gear. You will notice on here that I'm using 1, 2, 3 different legendaries, and we are using an experimental affix. Now, for an intro build, for somebody just learning, that does seem like a lot, and it kind of is a lot. I highly recommend, if you are new to Last Epoch and you're just learning the game, go Merchant's Guild. All of these items are currently pennies, or they're not much gold, 50,000 gold in either the Legacy or the Cycle shop. It is very, very cheap to purchase said items. Of course, you can go Circle of Fortune if you want to target farm them. It still isn't that difficult, but just know if you want to get these items really quickly, Merchant's Guild would be the way to go. Now, for a standard low life setup, you need to use Exsanguious for your chest armor. You need your boots, Last Steps of the Living. And for your glove, you want the experimental affix that converts your health to ward. Now, if somehow you can transfer these onto a Raven's Rise, so you can get an experimental one and move it over to Raven's Rise, that would be best in slot. But I didn't want to put that on here because that definitely is a difficult task. We are also using a Dragonflame Edict Staff. What's important about this staff is it has a chance to apply Ignite on a minion hit, and you can get this as high as 200%. And this is a common drop from the Reign of Dragons, Emperor of Corpses timeline. Now, I'll go through the other items one at a time. Helmet, level 2 Summon Bone Golem. Oracle Amulet, Minion, Health. Ring, Minion Damage Intelligence. Ring, Minion Damage Intelligence. Belt, Minion Damage, Minion Health. Life. Relic, Summon Skeletal Mage, Intelligence, Life Resistance. And our gloves, Intelligence, Low Life, and some resistances. So that is the gear, and you'll see right down here in the configuration, only minions. Now, when you look at the character sheet on here, I currently have 71 to intelligence, 9 to vitality, and resistances feel pretty good. When you were talking about sustain, low life will sustain you. You don't want any leech. The low life will keep you alive. You're going to be pushing anywhere from 7 to 10,000 ward most of the time when you are playing, and that is plenty. It will keep you alive around that 2, 3, maybe even 400 corruption. So those are our resistances, which feel good. Other defenses, we are maxed on crit avoidance. And when you go over to your minion stats, your minion fire spell is 1,076. Your minion bow is 1,126, and your minion dot is 1,076. In this configuration, you will be doing a ton of damage and putting hundreds of stacks of Ignite on the target. Aaron, this is great, but how do I level it? How do I go from level 1 to the current iteration that you have? I will show you. Now, one thing very cool about only minions is you could literally start it at level 1. It isn't a build where you have to go through a leveling guide, then unspec everything, and then transfer it into something else. No, you can use this from the very beginning. First skill you are going to take is Summon Skeleton. And just like I showed you during the skill section, you want to go to the left first. First thing you want to do is remove warriors, and then you want to come here and get your fire arrow. First skill, summon skeleton. Second thing you want is you want to get your summon bone golem. And what you want to do once you unlock this skill is you want to immediately come down and you want to get your meat shield. You want to be generating threat. You want to grab these 3 nodes. Second skill, summon bone golem. Third skill, you want to get summon volatile zombie, and you want to come up and over and get kill threshold. This will make you traverse the campaign very easy, especially any of those campaign bosses. It's going to be nice having a kill threshold with your zombies. Those are the first 3 skills. Those will literally carry you through the campaign. Now, when you are going through the campaign, you want to put an unspec'd transplant on your bar. And the way you would do that is you would just click on it and then you would put in transplant. That way you can make your 3 summons and you can still move around. It's a very nice way to do it. And an item that you want to look for leveling is a weapon. It is a wand, and it is right here called Reach of the Grave. You can use this at level 5. It is an absolutely amazing leveling item. For any Necromancer, you will fly through the campaign. All right, everyone, that's the build guide. What do you think of my new and refreshed only minions? Is there something I missed? Is there something I can do to take this to the next level? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. 2 asks at the end of the video. Ask number 1, I'm hoping today is the day I have earned your subscription. I'm hoping today is the day you make the decision to push that little red button. I would really appreciate it, but of course, only if you think I've earned it. And if I haven't earned it, I'm going to work harder for you. Ask number 2, check out my Patreon. Thank you to the first 131 members that have signed up. It is the best way to support into the future. We just did our first movie night, which we did a watch party of Beetlejuice. We have game night coming up where we're going to be playing V Rising on a custom action RPG server. You get access to custom content. You get access to the VIP lounge. Patreon is the best way to support. First link in the description. I'm done. Hopefully you were entertained or at least learned something. Aaron, out.